Namidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. All those that are invisible are filled with Brahman. All those that are visible are also fully permeated by Brahman. The whole universe has come out of the whole Brahman. Brahman is still full, although the whole universe has come out of it. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are reading Śvetāśvatara Upanishad, and we are in the chapter 3, and we will read today verse number 7. So, we read in the other verses, verse number 5 and 6, it says that, O Rudra, O Lord, who blesses all creatures by revealing the Vedas, deign to make us happy by your calm and blissful self, which roots out terror as well as all sins. And the 6th verse says, O revealer of the Vedic truth, impersonal prayer, no? Prayer to the impersonal God. O revealer of the, but it may be personal also, Rudra, the Shiva. So it says, Yam īśaṃ girishantam. Girishantam means who, revealer of the Vedic wisdom. So, deign to me to make propitious that arrow which you hold in your hand and shooting at somebody. That means imagining as if he is holding his arrow and shooting at somebody, and that shooting will do destroy. That shooting of the arrow, that arrow will destroy. What it will destroy? The benign personal form of your that has manifested as the universe. That means the world, as we look at that, that world will vanish. You will help me to destroy my illusion of this world and worldliness. So it is like a prayer, Vedantic prayer. You are praying to God. We say, oh Lord, give us this, give us that. Here also they are praying to that infinite reality, this supreme knowledge, as personified as it were, that, oh, revealer, you reveal, Rudra, Shiva, these are the names. You reveal the Vedic truths. What is the Vedic truth? Vedic truth is that you are the divine Vedic truth as the absolute root. Truth is the reality. This duality is an appearance. In that extreme experience, only the reality of the self or one all-pervaded consciousness is there. That is the reality. So you are the person who reveal the secrets of this truth. That apparent world of delusion is this duality. So you throw an arrow. That means you cast a glance of your compassion. Or sometimes it also can be meant that you put us into life's struggle in such a way that my world delusion goes away. It will penetrate, and it will penetrate through the duality of this world, concept of this world, and then it will allow me to reach the ultimate truth of Brahman, which is the inmost reality. So, protector of devotees, do not destroy that benign personal form of yours. And I also want to see your benign form. Who wants to worship God in his violent form? Very few are available, no? That's why you all worship Vishnu form, Narayana form, which is pleasing form, Ma Saraswati form, Very few are there who will be interested in Chamunda form or violent forms of the Divine Mother which is worshipped. Because first we should have to see the sweetness, through that sweetness, the sweetness of the Lord. And then one will ascend to a plane where sweetness and what is not sweet will appear the same. So, this 6th verse we read the other day, O revealer of the Vedantic truth, then to make propitious that arrow means is the Vedic Mahavakya. The arrow means, shooting the arrow means, what is the arrow here? The arrow of knowledge. What is the arrow of knowledge? That arrow of knowledge is, that knowledge is I am that, thou art that. This whole world is an appearance. Truth is the absolute Satchidananda, no? So that is the arrow. That means, at least guide me or strike me in my consciousness, that great dictums. Let it rotate in my mind all the time. I am that, or thou art that, thou art that. Not the knowledge. And that arrow which you hold in your hand for shooting at somebody. And this arrow is not really arrow of death, but this arrow kills the confusion of the duality, kills our duality, concept of duality, kills that feel, that destroys the idea that this world is real and God is unreal. That idea, that means opposite. With that arrow, this Mahavakya will reveal us God is the only reality and absolute reality. There is nothing else but God. So to how I can reach that level, so you please help me. Therefore, O protector of devotees, you, O Rudra, O protector of devotees, do not destroy that benign personal form of yours which has manifested as the universe. So, benign personal form of yours, that means let me see you in the whole creation. So, guide me, throw your arrow towards me means give me the wisdom of the highest truth, Mahavakyas, Vedantic Mahavakyas, and that will reveal the world differently. The world in which you live is the world of suffering and pain, anxieties and worries. But that will be the world full of bliss. Ananda dhara bahiche bhuvane. The whole world is permeated by Ananda. That will be the blissful side of this world. We are before ignorance and after ignorance. In the ignorant time we see the world as horrible. But when we get that Mahavakya, the arrow penetrates into me, destroys my ignorance, then I'll see that whole world. That's the benign form of yours everywhere. God's kind hand in good and in bad, in holiness, in unholiness. All will be permeated by God's place. No? That's the culmination of what is called seeing God everywhere. Seeing God everywhere, that will be spontaneous. And that is full of bliss. Bliss, 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 bliss. Kothav dukkha, kothav vicched. There is no suffering, there is no separation, there is no death. It is only that reality of absolute blissful state. So this is the verse 6 we read. Now today we are reading the 7th verse. Tataḥ paraṃ brahma, tataḥ paraṃ brahma, paraṃ bṛhantaṃ, paraṃ bṛhantaṃ, yathānikāyaṃ, yathānikāyaṃ, sarvabhūteṣu gūḍhaṃ, sarvabhūteṣu gūḍhaṃ, viśvasyaikaṃ, viśvasyaikaṃ, pariveṣṭitāram, pariveṣṭitāram, īśaṃ taṃ jñātvā, īśaṃ taṃ jñātvā, amṛtā bhavanti, amṛtā bhavanti. Tataḥ, thereafter, then that the personal Brahman, which is appearing as God is everywhere, that and that's through this personal Brahman, paraṃ, that higher, bṛhantaṃ, that infinite, that supreme Brahman, yathānikāyaṃ, according to the bodies, sarvabhūteṣu, in all beings hidden. Then I'll see that that reality which is transcendental is residing in the heart of all, every creation, every object we see, it is permeated with that consciousness. It is like that. You see the gold ornament and you see the gold is permeated in every place. So you see the divine permeated everywhere. So the tataḥ, after this experience, what will happen? Higher than this personal Brahman, first personal Brahman idea will come and then you penetrate. That's why our meditation is given. Iśaṃ mantra is given. Iśaṃ and Iśaṃ form is given. And said, we call the Iśaṃ form is, who is Iśaṃ? Your Iśaṃ is the Lord God of the creation. He is the personal God. And then personal God, meditating on the personal God, gradually you enter into the realm which is impersonal and absolute. So that is one step, 7 verses taking us to the 7th, but higher position to that. Says, so therefore, tataḥ, higher than this personal Brahman, is this infinite and supreme Brahman. So, but that truth is concealed. As we see, where is Brahman? We don't see Brahman anywhere. That is concealed. Concealed by what? By the body and mind, no? Sarvabhūteṣu gūḍhaṃ. The truth is there, embedded in everywhere. Gūḍhaṃ means very deeply residing secretly, as it were, in every object, every person. And though viśvasyaikaṃ, though he remains as ekaṃ, only one, single, but pariveṣṭitāram, that one who permeates everywhere, envelops the whole universe. Now, taṃ jñātvā amṛtā bhavanti. You have to know that. Knowing that, you become amrita, immortal, absolutely free from all ignorance and blinding darkness. So, again, let me see. Tataḥ paraṃ, that means tataḥ means after this. After this means this other verse has said, I want to see your divine form. The transcendental form, absolute, not absolute, but saguna Brahma. Consulting that I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. To reach that absolute Brahman is not one stroke. So it goes to the saguna to nirguna. You have to cross that range. So that was asking the saguna Brahma. Now this parabrahma is next stage. Tataḥ paraṃ brahma, and paraṃ, that is supreme, bṛhantaṃ, that is the infinite, it is paraṃ, supreme, and yathānikāyaṃ, that according to the bodies, sarvabhūteṣu is embedded in the heart and being of every creation. Is a light. Look at the crawling worm. In the worm body, consciousness is permeated there. So it is that one absolute consciousness permeated in all the bodies, that will be experienced. That means saguna Brahma to going to the nirguna Brahma. And nirguna Brahma, not in transcendental level, coming down, that spirit of seeing oneness will permeate in everybody. So this is giving a little description. So the translation says, higher than this personal Brahman is the infinite supreme Brahman, who is concealed in all beings. How concealed in the bodies? According to everyone's body. Suppose you take water in different container, the water takes the shape of each container. But if you suppose that that is all embedded into the ocean of consciousness, ocean. So though it is individual shape and size, but it is permeated by water. So similarly here, the Atman is permeated everywhere, even though the forms are different. So the form will not be an obstacle for spiritual experience of oneness. And you try to that one who is permeated in everything as the knowledge, and that knowing that you will be immortal. Knowing him to be the Lord, one becomes immortal. So higher than this personal Brahman is the infinite supreme Brahman, tataḥ paraṃ brahma. Paraṃ is the supreme, bṛhantaṃ is the infinite, yathānikāyaṃ, as is the body, sarvabhūteṣu gūḍhaṃ, he is embedded in every being. I am seeing you, but the Brahman is permeated as if in the shape. It is all Brahman, but it is taken a shape. Like, you go to the Arctic region where the water is frozen, and sometimes so many ice, cubes and ice slabs are found, different sizes, but it is all permeated by the same water content. So that is the idea, that paraṃ Brahma, that personal Brahman which was from higher than that is bṛhantaṃ, there is infinite, the supreme Brahman, and that is supreme Brahman is according to the bodies of all beings is hidden inside. That means in every ice cube there is water. Water is penetrated. So in every name and form you see, it is Brahman is permeated like that. Even there is in between space, there is also Brahman. But he is talking about the seeing the divine in every being, and the same God has taken different shapes. Cup form cup, glass form glass, bowl form bowl. So wherever may the diversities of the container, this body is the container, as it were, but it permeates all through. It is all that consciousness, concrete consciousness.
I'm not familiar with this term personal Brahman. You might have already explained it, maybe I missed it, but is personal Brahman, is that the same as Ishvara?
Personal Ishvara. Personal Brahman means, then we see, according to that concept, is that absolute Brahman is the supreme, called nirakaro, nirguna. No akaro, no quality, it is absolute truth. One step down, when Maya enters into it, it becomes nirakara, no form, but it is saguna, with guna. What is the guna? He creates. I shall be many. That will comes, cosmic will comes. That's why you call Ishvara is the sum total of the individual souls. All our I added together is the big I. So in that big I, desire comes and the whole universe is created. Sun, moon, stars, galaxies, everything comes out of that. So that power is called Ishvara. And that power, that Lord has ear everywhere because he is all pervaded. If he's one person sitting here, he will not hear if you speak something outside. But he being everywhere, he can hear all prayers in all languages. How many languages in the world? How many vocabularies are there? People talk. God listens and understands everyone's prayer. That is the nirguna. No? Nirguna is the above, last one. This is the Saguna Brahman, but the first step, it is the Ishvara stage. And that reality will be experienced here. Here, with this verse 7 says, our goal is to see that divine, absolute Satchidananda in every being, in every akar, every form. This is a form, this is a form, this is a form, this is a form, the table is a form. In every form, that if one knows that it is that same consciousness permeated, then you become amrita. There is no death. Where will you be death? You see the same reality everywhere. Death is an end of one thing which is existing. One thing existing, it will not be there. That's called death, no? I am here, I will not be here. That's called the death. But there is no, everywhere is the same reality, where it will die. It needs another place to die. Another state, one state to another state. There is no other state, it is only one state, which is permeated with consciousness. So, that idea is taken, Saguna, and Saguna Brahma we can think in this way. Our Ishta Devata, when you worship our avatar, say Rama, Krishna, Christ, Buddha we worship, we call Ishvara. Sacha Ishvara, Sacha Bhagavan. That is the Bhagavan, that is the Ishvara. Saguna Brahma. He has himself come down in the body. So this verse relates to our practice. You think that same Bhagavan has come down in the form of Ramakrishna or Christ or Buddha. When you meditate on them, what happened? You are meditating on Ishvara himself. But meditating that Saguna Brahma, if you go and really get absorbed into it, then you are automatically gone into the state of that Ishvara state. And that transcending that will be the Nirguna state, automatically. So Saguna will be merging into Nirguna. So that's why this verse says, so we have to practice that higher than the personal Brahman, there is the infinite supreme Brahman. That we know. Sakara to Nirakara. And that who is concealed, but that reality is concealed everywhere. I don't see God anywhere. I don't see that blissful reality anywhere. I see the wood as wood, the earth as earth, water as water, space as space. A person is person. Everything is all individual and separate entity. But here, when they're according to the body, is as if he has concealed in the body, taking the shape of the body. That means Ramakrishna's example of what is called the wax garden. Do you understand the example? Wax garden? Wax garden means, here is the wax museum, the same. In the museum you see everything made of wax. You are walking to the row, foot over, that is made of wax. The wall is made of wax. The actors and actresses standing there, they are made of wax. Their nose is wax, their ear is wax, their eyes are wax, their head is hair is wax, nail is wax, feet is wax, every part is wax. But you see it is concealed. Wax is concealed. If you enter there, they made it so realistic that as if the person is standing there. But it is not the person, it is the wax in the form of the artist or the actors. No? So these are the actors. It's all made of Satchidananda. Just replace wax by Satchidananda consciousness. Then when you see that everywhere, then you know that you have realized the truth. Seeing God, transcendental is one thing, but coming down in the dualistic plane and seeing the same reality as if made of same consciousness, that is called the path to immortality. This is the conclusion of spiritual life. No? That's why in the Katha Upanishad, similar verses, yatha rūpaṃ rūpaṃ pratirūpa babhūva yatha agnir eka, as Agni, the fire, coming in touch with takes different colors, fire remaining the same. You put some salt, its color is different. You put some oil, its color is different. You put some potato, its color is different. So, as the fire being one, yatha agni rūpaṃ rūpaṃ pratirūpa babhūva, as is taking the different color, though being in contact with the objects, Similarly, ekastatha sarvabhūtāntaratma rūpam pratirupa bahischa. Ekaṃ, that act, that one reality, one fire, as it takes different colors in contact with the different objects. Similarly, the ekaṃ, that absolute one reality, coming in touch with this name and form and size and shape, it takes different. But it is all one. Main thing, Vedanta always talks of oneness, no? What you see, and when you can see that one in the many, that's the Swamiji's lecture is on diversity, unity in diversity. That unity of oneness of Satchidananda in every, then you are a man of wisdom or woman of wisdom. So let me read out the notes. Here it is said that, again I am reading the main text meaning, tataḥ paraṃ brahma, higher than that Brahman, that personal Brahman, paraṃ bṛhat, there is the infinite supreme being, bṛhantaṃ. That Brahma is what? yathānikāyaṃ sarvabhūteṣu gūḍhaṃ. Nikāyaṃ means which has taken the shape of the body, each one body, and is concealed in all beings according to their bodies. And who, though remaining simple, viśvasyaikaṃ, that reality which is wax. Wax is the only reality. Remaining wax, remaining wax. It has taken pariveṣṭitāram. It envelops the whole universe. And there is so many diversity of name and form. The trees, the plants, the mountain, the rocks, the rivers, the creeks, the aquatic animal, all the diverse creation is so much varieties of infinite, has enveloped the whole universe. And you have to know that one. Jñātvāmṛtā bhavanti. Knowing that one to be the Lord, one becomes immortal. So note says, though the devotees would like to remain satisfied with the form of God, the highest mukti or liberation is possible only by realizing the Absolute. It is Vedantic stand. Vedanta says, Bhakta wants to enjoy the bliss. Ramakrishna said, I want to taste the sugar and not to be sugar. But here it is saying, to be sugar is the ultimate goal. Taste the sugar is good, but that is not it may be penultimate state. There is, so that's why I say, though the devotee as devotee's angle, would like to remain satisfied with the form of God, the highest mukti, the liberation, is possible only by realizing the Absolute. This mantra, therefore, leads the aspirant from the personal to impersonal. That's why it is very high level of concept. But coming as it does immediately after one invoking the blessing of the deity as the personal, the mantra seems to imply that the realization of the impersonal Absolute can be had only through the maturity of devotion to the personal and the grace he bestows on the devotee. So this is also beautiful blending of jnana and bhakti. Though ultimate reality is merging into that self, but you cannot go in one stroke to God, the Absolute. That's why you have to do the bhakti upasana, prayer, meditation on saguna Brahma. Many people say, oh, I like the nirguna state. Nirguna state we cannot meditate. How will you meditate on nirguna? Because your mind is saguna. When your mind thinks of the infinite Brahman, mind has no power to think of infinite. It will think of something saguna, limited, no? So that's why, but this you should be purifying. This verse implies that beyond the saguna Brahma is the nirguna, but you have to reach to that saguna Brahma, you have to meditate on the divine form. That's why Ishta Devata, our meditation, our mantra, these are very vital. Here is the mantra is like shooting the arrow. Just if we can connect with the last verse. Shooting your arrow means, oh Lord, with the mind. Mind is our thought. Oh Lord, help me to shoot the arrow towards this idea that this is the reality, this is the reality. And shooting at that Mahavakya, even you talking about I am that, you have to go step by step from form to formless, formless to the infinite, So this is the idea that coming as it does immediately after one invoking the blessing of the deity as the personal, the mantra seems to imply that the realization of the impersonal absolute can be had only through the maturity of devotion. Maturity of devotion. Ordinary devotion will not do. What we devote, that's called ordinary devotion. Vidhi, vadhiyo, bhakti. Bodhi, bhakti. These are the technical terms. That means you have to do rituals. You sit, you get a shower, you clean yourself, wave an incense, put a candle, offer some flower, chant some mantras. These are all the doing saguna brahma upasana. So it is personal through the maturity of devotion. That practice should be done prolonged time. And then you understand the inner significance of what you are offering, what you are thinking about, and think that is and then the paraphernalia will stop automatically. All the items of puja, etc., etc. Then only people will sit and close their eyes and think of God. Then they will go to mental worship. And mental worship also stop. God himself and the person who is meditating. Meditator and the meditation become one when the object of meditation and the person meditating gets tuned up together. By concentrated focus, one is tuned to the consciousness of God inside. It goes on, and then that is the practice of devotion. Long practice of devotion. That then it is to the maturity of devotion to the personal God. And the grace is necessary. You see, whatever you think that I am Brahman, nothing will happen. Here also grace of God is necessary. That saguna Brahma upasana is very important. It is very practically connecting the saguna and nirguna together. How one lead to the other. Many times we think that we are bhaktas, we are separate, they are gyanis, they are separate. That is not true. We are making a journey towards that. One has matured devotion. One may not have matured devotion. We start at certain point. And then connecting that God, all-pervading God at the end, that will be the achievement of this. So the personal and the impersonal are not two different beings, but the same deity in his two aspects. It must also be remembered that even after the realization of the Absolute, there is nothing contradictory in retaining devotion to the personal God. Ramakrishna, even attaining the supreme realization, he used to leave himself, keep himself in the duality of personal God, saying ma, 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 day and night. So, yes, many people think once one reaches the absolute condition, then they will die. No, they will not die. They are in perfect samadhi, they will be all the time there. But when they come back again, they live in the mind and they live in the same saguna Brahma consciousness. So absolute, there is nothing contradictory to the devotion to the personal God. So personal God, you can enjoy more, because in samadhi, like Thakur stayed, Ramakrishna stayed in samadhi, there is absolute oneness. But body will not continue to be there. You cannot keep the body. To keep the body in functional, the Gyanis, they come down by God's grace for their own good and for the good of all spiritual seekers. They get the benefit of their presence. They feel the palpably God when they go to that type of holy people. So, what is the goal then? Today's verse is very important in that sense, to understand that worship, devotional practice and Vedantic practice are not contradictory. That's why in Ramakrishna tradition, in Vedanta tradition, we blend all these ideas. You see how much we spend our time talking about Vedanta, and how much we talked about devotion, how much in our day-to-day life we try to pray and meditate and do this. And at the same time you think that you are the Brahman, Atman, that also. So these are not contradictory. This is a very beautiful concept which in this age Sri Ramakrishna has demonstrated, and Swami Vivekananda has proclaimed it as the harmony of religions, harmony of concept of the ideas, four yogas, jnana, karma, yoga, bhakti, blending all those ideas have been given. So by that you will realize that highest truth. When we see oneness with eyes open, that is the point. We are also seeing the world. What we are seeing, this world is horrible world. The world is full of negative things. How many bad things are happening in the world. Why God is doing all, we don't have any understanding. But in this point, you will find it is made of all wax structure. The killer is also wax, the killed is also wax. Who is killing whom? It is all drama going on. It is all play going on. That is the joy of being illumined. That is the joy of Jivan Mukti. One becomes Jivan in life, they become free. Swami Lokeswarananda ji has translated, let me read that. Tataḥ paraṃ means greater than that, the world, or even Virat, the sum total of all worlds. Brahman paraṃ, Brahma paraṃ, beyond Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, the first manifestation of Brahman, absolute, and the relative plane, are the sum total of the mind. Anyhow, so Brahma, beyond Brahma, what we are talking is Ishara. The bṛhantaṃ, bṛhantaṃ, the great, the vast, the infinite. yathānikāyaṃ means present in the body of everyone. sarvabhūteṣu gūḍhaṃ, it is hidden in the heart of every being. viśvasyaikaṃ, pariveṣṭitāram, he who alone encloses within himself the whole universe. Tam, īśaṃ, those who know this self, the Lord īśaṃ, attain immortality. So running translation, the Lord is greater than this world, that is greater than Virat, the sum total of all bodies. He is even greater than Hiranyagarbha, the sum total of all minds. He is all pervasive. All the diverse forms seen in the world are his form. All the forms we are seeing, Ramakrishna used to say, I see God everywhere, no? I see Mother everywhere. Holy Mother saying that in the ant, moving ant, I saw the Lord walking as ant. So ant is no ant to him, it is the Lord walking in the ant form. So for that vision, all forms seen in the world are his form. It is all Ramakrishna, or you call all Ma Durga, or Mahakali, or it is all Jesus, all Christ everywhere. No? So that he is hidden in every heart, yet he encloses the whole world with himself. Those who know this self, the Lord, they attain to immortality. That Supreme Being is everywhere. He pervades this phenomenal world and exists in all beings. But he is also beyond the phenomenal world. Tat paraṃ. Let us not think he is exhausted himself in the universe. He is beyond even Brahma paraṃ, meaning Hiranyagarbha. We can even imagine how big Brahman is. We cannot even imagine how big Brahman is. All we know is that he is brihat, big. He is within this universe, within each and every being, and according to the form of the body of each being, he is present. He is in the smallest as well as the biggest, and again he surrounds, envelops the entire universe. If you know him, you become immortal. Brahma Veda, Brahma eva bhavati. He who knows Brahman becomes Brahman. So, what is the difference between knowledge and ignorance then? What is the difference between bondage and liberation then? Very little. What is that? There is a very fine line. It is by knowing Brahman, that's the point. You see the same world as we are seeing now, and you will see the same world after you realize God. But world will remain the same. But you will see God walking, God speaking, God being happy, God being unhappy. God is a grumbling God. God is an angry God. God is a killer God, killed God. It is nothing but God, 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 the divine everywhere. I am using the term God. Please understand, it is the man in the form of that consciousness. If you know you are one with that Supreme Being, if you know you are one with the entire universe, if you know there is but one singular entity that has assumed different names and different forms, then you have true knowledge. Then you are free. You are no longer in a state of bondage. This is what the Upanishad is trying to convey. So, Upanishadic idea is that to know that one. One is moving in all forms. We appear different because of our different names and forms. But names and forms change. Our names and forms are always changing. They are not essential. Form is changing, we know every day. Our body is changing. This is the form, no? Name is also changing. Name, we change so many times. We go to another country, we change our name into another. When you are born, my mom calls me in one name, and that when you mature, a school-going name becomes another name. So we are changing the name and form. It happens in the body, one embodied. But that one does not change. That is the consciousness. So we appear different because of our different names and forms. But names and forms also change. They are not essential. They are not part of our being. They are mere superimpositions. We can eliminate them or change them. In fact, our bodies are always changing. They are either growing or decaying. The entire universe is constantly in a state of flux. But behind this changing phenomena, there is one entity that never changes. It is always the same, and that is our real being. When you know this, nothing can affect you any longer. Then you have a sort of contemptuous attitude towards what happened to your body. What the Upanishad is trying to do is to give us a sense of pride in our true identity. We are masters, we are not slaves, we are supreme. So that is the way this verse 7 we read. And now you are saying that you realize this, but is there any proof that anyone have realized this? Now the sage, the Upanishadic sage, beautiful verse, it is very much quoted everywhere. It is saying, a very powerful verse. Here is a declaration by the sage of Śvetāśvatara Upanishad, the rishi who have seen, experienced this. He is saying this verse. So you know that, join me. Verse number 8. Vedāham etaṃ puruṣaṃ mahāntam ādityavarṇaṃ tamasaḥ parastāt, ādityavarṇaṃ, tamasaḥ parastāt, ādityavarṇaṃ, tamasaḥ parastāt, tamasaḥ parastāt, tamevo viditvā, mṛtyumeti, nānyaḥ panthā, vidyate ayanayo. This is a very beautiful verse quoted by Swami Vivekananda in many places as a declaration. This is not a theory. What he says, see that one in diversity. Go from saguna Brahma to nirguna Brahma. But he's coming down, you will see the world. But the world is now permeated by God, the consciousness, Satchidananda. So this is a theory. Rishi says, see, I have realized that truth. Vedāham etaṃ puruṣaṃ mahāntam, ādityavarṇaṃ, tamasaḥ parastāt, tamevo viditvāti, nānyaḥ panthā, vidyate ayanayo. Here, the assertion of the Rishi, as Ramakrishna said, I have seen God. I have seen God, I can show you God. So here is the declaration. Vedāham, I have experienced this truth. Whom I veda? Puruṣaṃ mahāntam, that grand, great, infinite, absolute, that consciousness, puruṣaṃ. Wow, what is his form? What did you see? Ādityavarṇaṃ. His varna, his color, is āditya, like sun, sun's color. That's bright. No ignorance, no darkness. Tamasaḥ parastāt. There is no trace of tamas or ignorance. It is beyond all ignorance, beyond all darkness. I have experienced that absolute truth which is like bright like the sun. Tamevo viditvā, only knowing that, tam eva, only viditvā means knowing that, tam, mṛtyumeti, you can otikram, you can cover, you can overcome, mṛtyum, death. Every day we are dying. How much we are fearful about our life, our loss of anything, but that you can overcome that death, fear of death. And there is, you want to overcome death? Nānyaḥ panthā. There is no another panthā means road. There is no another path. Vidyate, exist. Ayanayo. No ayana, no path other than this exist. That means it is a grandest declaration of the wonderful expression quoted by many places. Is a very powerful statement. So, I have realized this great being who shines effulgent like the sun beyond all darkness. One passes beyond death only on realizing him. There is no other way of escape from the circle of birth and death. This is the Rishi, the sage of Śvetāśvatara is declaring that as a testimony. I am giving you not only the advice, but I have experienced that. Vedāham etaṃ puruṣaṃ. So it is added with that. Śriṇṇantu viśvasyaikaṃ amritasya putrāha. That is in somewhere. That is one part of that. Vedāham etaṃ is the second part. First says, Śriṇṇantu viśvasyaikaṃ. Listen, O people of the whole universe. Viśvasyaikaṃ. Śriṇṇantu viśvasyaikaṃ amritasya. You are not ordinary man or woman. You are all children of immortality, amritasya putraha. And those who live, ye dhamani, dhamani means plane, different level. This world, heaven or higher heaven, all the places, human, gods, goddesses, angels, whoever is there in the world, from the nether world to the higher world. No, this is my declaration, Śriṇṇantu, here, Vishve, in this world of expanded universe. Sunnantu viśvamrita suputra aje dhamani divyani tostu vedāham etaṃ. I have realized the truth. Eje vedāham etaṃ puruṣaṃ mahāntam. I have experienced the truth. The open declaration by the loud crowd, the whole universe, gods and angels. Listen, listen, I am the only realization I have realized the truth, which is beyond all darkness, is like shining like that. So let us see how Swami Lokeshwaranandaji translate. The sage is said, the sage of the Śvetāśvatara says, I have known that great being, that cosmic self. It is beyond ignorance, and it is self-luminous like the sun. If a spiritual speaker knows that self, he automatically goes beyond death. There is no other way of reaching this goal. I have known that great one means I am here ready to share my knowledge, my experience with you, as if the sage is talking like that. They say that when you have the experience of Brahman, you have a sense of urgency. You think, I cannot be selfish. Here is something that gives me tremendous joy and peace. I cannot keep it myself, within myself. I want to share it with others right now. So, good people, what they do? Any good meal comes, let others eat first. Bad people, what they do? I will eat first. Others will eat. If they get or don't get, why? I'll have to grab it first. So this is the good food. The Rishi says, I have realized it. And I can share the truth. That's why it says, vedāham etaṃ means, I have known that great one. I am here to ready to share my knowledge. All my experience with you. And what is that? And then he says that this book says, the Lokeshwaranandaji, you think that I cannot be selfish. Here is my urgency. Something to give, that tremendous joy and peace to me, I can keep it to myself. Can I do that? Sri Ramakrishna used to go to the roof of one of the building of Dakshineshwar and called out, oh my children, where are you? Come to me. He cried for them to come. He used to crying. There is joy I have experienced. Come, come, this good food is served here. Whoever is there, come. It is your own treasure. Don't forget that treasure. The Supreme Being is described as ādityavarṇaṃ, bright, effulgent, shining, like that of the sun. Why is it bright? Because it is pure. Knowledge is always bright, and the opposite of knowledge, that is ignorance, is described as darkness. Tamasaḥ parastāt. This knowing knowledge removes all darkness, all ignorance. Just as when the sun shines, it dispels all darkness, so also when there is knowledge, there is no more ignorance. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, a room may have been dark for thousands of years, but if you enter the room and light a lamp, at once the darkness disappears. It does not go little by little. So, you can realize this truth. That is the calling for all of us. The whole world is being called here. I have known that reality. You are also welcome to come and join and enjoy this blissful state. If you know the Supreme Being, you go beyond death. That is to say, you have no more fear of death. You know when you are, what you are. If there is death, it is death of the body. It is not your death. It is no longer matter to you what happens to the body. It is in that sense that you overcome death. You are then liberated, and there is no further birth and death for you. To know your identity with Brahman is the supreme goal. There is no other path of liberation. Okay? So, got this point? We read the verse number 7 and 8. First of all, it is to go saguna Brahma to nirguna Brahma, and going from nirguna Brahma, coming down 3 steps. So when starting our journey from where we are, to start our journey from saguna Brahma, Ishta Devata, embodiment of that Satchidananda, but not Ishvara in the form of my Ishta. And going from there with the arrow of mantra, just going penetrating inside and reaching the Saguna Brahma, entering into the Supreme Brahman, and then coming down, seeing the whole world permeated with that's absolute Satchidananda self. And then it is a different world altogether. The world of fight, competition, anger, frustration, loss, gain, and all this meaningless living of like a low creature makes him the sage, saint, realized soul. So this is a very inspiring chapter. This book is for practicing. We know that we have read already that they have given us already the instruction that when you do this, you think that you are, when you start this practice, then you sit in a position, back, neck, starting from the very basic practices to the extreme practice of realization of the Nirguna Brahma. Starting from how to sit, how to breathe, how to take your head, neck straight, in what place, with a beautiful scenic area, whether you are not distracted with other things. Starting from there, step by step, go to Saguna, to Nirguna, Nirguna to come down and see the whole world permeated by the one Brahman, absolute Brahman, and make seeing God everywhere. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So we'll have our gospel class tomorrow at 7:30, and I am giving probably, I am giving the class tomorrow. So there is a question. In childhood, I did some wrong things which I didn't know were sins. I just had the understanding that those were bad habits and I would like to get rid of them. Why don't we have clear-cut understanding of pious and sin always? Yeah, we forget that. And because we are in ignorance that veils our knowledge, why do I not understand what is good and what is bad? Because my mind is confused. Why I become selfish? Why I don't become unselfish? My mind is confused. I take protecting of myself first. That is the normal idea. Vivekananda says, forget yourself. Think of others only. So I am confused. This is confusion because the mind is dirty. Because mind is not thinking properly. And even you see, we find that a small child in the home, it is very many things to observe. 5 children are there. One brother or one sister will be snatching the food first, eat first, and snatch the other's one. But another child is also feeding the sister, feeding the brother. So where do they get this difference? One's mental condition, because of his past good karma, his mind is clear. She thinks, not me, but thou. That sense has come. Purity of the heart has happened. If the impure, we all go through this, no one to glorify. Who have advanced a little bit, not to be glorified. Because we also, those who have advanced anything, they have also gone through the same stage. Those who think for others, why Swami Vivekananda so much cried for the suffering of others? Why not himself? Why on the day of 1893, the Chicago Parliament of Religion, when he has the highest glory and name and fame, and he could not sleep that night and was crying in the floor of the room where he has given to stay, thinking of the suffering of people. Why he is crying? He is a fool. He should think of himself. A good bed, good sleep well. And I am a great person. I have conquered the whole world. No, his ego is gone. So these are the examples because our mind. So our sadhana is to forget about what we did. But let us start from today to think that I am child of God. I shall improve my character. I shall try to think of holiness. I'll think of selflessness. I'll think of charity. I'll think of doing good to others. Not me. Me second. Me last. Thou. I. That is going on whole world. But those who start giving the other way, spinning the other way, not I, O Lord, thou, or not I, O Lord, thou, not I, O thou, that is the way of spiritual life. So we will have to practice that. And why? Why? Because of our ignorance, because of our mind. So mind should be purified. Another question, if you know you are one with the entire universe, then you have true knowledge. You are free. How do we know that we are home and that we are home? How do we know that we are home and that the knowledge is not mind in subtle form misleading us? No. That means you are saying, how do we know that it is my real experience or something wrong? Probably that is the question. Yes, when real experience will come, it will be such overwhelming transformation that this doubt will go away. And another sign that whether it is real experience, the sign of real experience is that it will be doubt-free. If you have some experience, you see some light, see some Kundalini awakening on this, good. But did that transform your life to a better person, a spiritual person? Otherwise it is dangerous. This awakening is not good for us and we cannot hold it. People misdirect that. So therefore it is said that when it happens really, that's why slow spiritual practice, everyday prayer, meditation, selfless work, self-sacrifice, these practices are very important. Spirituality is not a matter of joke, not by talking, not by projecting ourselves. But spirituality is a practice every day, humble practice every day, step-by-step practice every day, as Guru has instructed, following that, and transformation coming. And then this experience will come spontaneously, and that will, as I give the example, the sun is in the sky, and there is a thick level of cloud. As thick is the cloud, so much dark the day. We feel bad when there is no sun, that day we feel bad, no? But if now darkness is thrown away, blown away, how? Keeping not the darkness, but selflessness, meditation, prayer, charity, doing something for others, jumping for helping others. If this quality, it is fanning the cloud. As the cloud becomes rarefied, and the thickness becomes lesser and lesser, the inner light shines gradually. We can feel that. And when it goes closer and closer, as much as we move, so much light, inner peace, inner tranquility. That person will be peaceful. As one moves inside, it will be automatically peaceful. Our nature is distracted. That's understandable. We live in the level of mind. But as we move Godwards, a person will be a different person. His personality will transform him. It will be soothing. It will be enjoyable. And they'll feel the inner peace more. So their face will shine forth. Or even not face will shine forth, but at least they will be peaceful people and they will be asset to the society. So it is to be understand that it should be misleading, no misleading. If we are aware of what is called the realization, as you have said, read the book, you have to go by worshipping Saguna Brahma, your Ishta Devata, day and night, meditating, repeating thousands and thousands of japa. It's not a matter of joke. I did 108 in the morning and I could not get up this morning, I'll do it tomorrow. And once a week I go to church in Sunday, I am a spiritual person. No, God is constant companion. So those who practice that, they can understand more and more quicker effect, and that transformation will come. And that you will know that you are in the genuine path. But there is every risk of misunderstanding spirituality wrongly, which is not true spirituality. Some hallucination can be interpreted as experience. So there is a risk of that. That's why you go to holy people. Don't think you are so great. You know everything. You go to those places who are living this whole life, spiritual life. Go to them and match your clock with as Ramakrishna used to say. Everyone says their clock is right. My clock is the only clock right, no? But he said, Mother, no one's clock is right. So match with the clock, with the Upanishad clock. Match with the clock of the Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Read what your transformation is correct or wrong. Read Bhagavad Gita and transform whether it is matching with them. As the sage said ultimately today, no? All this explanation he has done. Now is the point, he said, I have known the truth. So that confirmation will come from within, and that will be very relaxing. How to make sense of the understanding of the Lord I got from Vedanta when I am challenged by doctrines of other religions. I have people in my life who challenge me with doctrines. Okay, why you have to take so much seriousness about others' doctrines? Yeah, let them have their own doctrine. You have your own doctrine. Everything viewing the same thing in different angle. Let there be 1,000 doctrines. But why we should go to argue with people? Don't argue with people who are not matching with your idea unnecessarily. If it is forced to do that, good, do that. But you need not have to convince others that Brahman alone is truth. Why? What is your business? But rather you talk to people who understand your philosophy. There will be many doctrines. You go to the doctor, even physical doctor, and for a particular patient. You go to 3 doctors, 3 opinions will come. It is natural. But main doctrine is God realization. And what you believe in Vedanta, you believe, and talk to the Vedanta people who understands you. You need not have to go to another philosopher to discuss and fight with him. This is the logician's work. We are not logicians. We are spiritual seekers. We want to see God, we want to love God, we want to make meaningful living in our this present condition. No? So we should not spend our... And also Bhakti Shastra says, Bādo nāvalamba. You should not go into the fight of doctrinal fight. Because that is a wastage of time. You sincerely believe whatever you believe, move on that path, and you will realize God. Ramakrishna said, whatever is your doctrine, take it. But you can discuss for clarity, that's a different thing. But you need not have to prove that my doctrine is higher than your doctrine. Not necessary. Your doctrine is good for you. Your selection of food is good. My selection of my food is good. In restaurant you go, you are vegetarian, I am non-vegetarian. So you like your vegetarian food, you go out. Why so much to fight? Your non-vegetarian food is bad, my non-vegetarian is good. Or who are you to tell me, my non-vegetarian is bad, your vegetarian is good? Eat the food, don't fight. So this is the point. Doctrines will be there. Let there be doctrine. You be happy with your doctrine. You have your own soup. Let me have my chicken. Or you have your chicken. Let me have my soup. What is the problem in it? Why to fight that chicken is the best and vegetarian soup is not good? Why are you talking like that? So take your own philosophy, own understanding, and mature your spirituality. Find joy inside. That is the point. No use of only contradicting or fighting or always going into the confusion that creates the anger in our mind and other distractions. So for the beginning, but for clarity you should always discuss. The philosophy of why we are reading these books in this temple. Last 80, 90 years people are reading the same. So how many times this book has been read? How many times Gita is read? How many times other Upanishads are read? How many spiritual talks are... So many thoughts, so many ideas are given. It's for clarity. I want to understand this spiritual truth in my path, but not to fight with other doctrines. It's not necessary. Okay, thank you. Okay. Jai Ma. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So tomorrow at 7:30 for gospel class, and day after tomorrow is our Mother Kali's worship. It starts around 10 o'clock. Maybe a little early we'll start, but 10 o'clock it will go around 3 o'clock, 3:30, almost the whole night. And then those who come can find the seat. Of course, those who will be planning to coming, so on online I am just telling for them, there will be car valet parking will be there. Don't park your car here and there, because it will be towed away. There is towed away zone in Vine Street. So you're not knowing if you keep, then it will be dangerous. Rather, we have our valet parking, we are keeping it. Come into our park and then give your car. And this hall will be full, so take your seat much earlier. Otherwise, first come, first serve. We have no other. And we will have some extension. Maybe in the living room, we will give some extra seats, those who cannot accommodate here. And puja will go on 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock. In between, those who want to go away, they will have some little prasad fruits you can take. And those will stay till the end, have prasad at the end of all puja and homa. So you are all welcome. Thank you. Jai Ma.